Hi guys, I see a few people who are having some difficulty with the area and circles review, so I thought I would go over a couple of things with you again. So I have up on the quizzes on each of the problems just a reminder of what the area and circumference formulas are, so I thought I would go through this with you. So when we're looking at this first picture here, we can see that the circle, they give us the radius. And so if we know the radius of the circle, we can plug it into our formula. So we know that our radius here is going to be 5 meters. So what we'll do is we're going to plug this into, it says asking us to find the area of the circle, which is important. So we want to find, plugging it into this formula, area equals pi r squared. So we're going to say area equals pi and our radius being 5 squared. Now in this, we're going to leave these things in terms, or in exact units. So really we're just going to do the 5 squared part, which will give us 25 pi. And it would be meters squared because it's area. And that would be your answer. So not too difficult there. If you know the radius, that's kind of the key to these problems. You have to know what the radius is. So then when we go to our next question here, we're still looking for our area, but now we don't know the radius. We know the diameter, the whole thing across is 18. So we want to know just a piece of it. We want to know what is the radius going to be in this circle. And a radius is just half of the diameter. So we want to just take half of 18. So a radius here is going to be 9. And then again, we want to find the area. So we're going to use our area circle or formula again. So we're going to do our area is equal to pi r squared. And so then again, we're just going to leave it in exact terms. So we're going to do our 9 squared, which is our 81 pi. And there's our answer. Okay. So again, key to all of these problems is knowing what is your radius. So here we have, oh, hey, look at this. It says the radius of the circle is 9 meters. So we know the radius is 9 meters. We want to know what is the circle's circumference. So now we're using our circumference formula. Here again, we're going to plug it in, 2 pi times 9. And again, because we're leaving it in exact terms, we're kind of ignoring pi in the equation. We don't need to type that into anything. So a lot of this can be done with some mental math or quick math anyways. So we're going to do 2 times 9, and that's going to give us 18 pi, which would be our circumference. And this is just meters, not meters squared, because it's not the area. And that's all we do with our circumference formula. Okay. So depending on, you have to look at what's the information you're given and what are you being asked to find. So that's going to change how you do each of these problems. So now what we have some that are a little tougher because now we're given not the radius. It says the circumference of the circle is 10 pi. So we know the circumference is equal to 10 pi. So we're going to use our circumference formula, and that's going to allow us to find the radius. So we're going to say 2 pi r equals our 10 pi. So we're just replacing c in the equation. Now, what's really nice about these being in exact terms is that the pi's on each side, if we were to divide them, they will just simply cancel each other out. So we have 2r equals 10. That's supposed to be 10. And so then we can solve this now. We'll just divide by 2, and that gives us our radius. So we've got our radius. Yay, that's a check. That's a big thing that we need. The question, though, is it says the area is blank. So if we know the radius, can we then go back and find the area? Now, not all questions ask this. Some say just find the radius. But now we're saying, okay, now find the area. Well, if we know what our radius is, then we can plug it into our area formula. And again, we'll just do the 5 squared. So 5 times 5, we get 25 pi. And then this would be yards squared because it's area. And that would be our final answer. So the big trick is making sure you're answering completely the question that's being asked. Last one I have for us. Now we're just basically doing the other way around. Now it says the area of the circle. So we have the area. So we're going to use our area formula to start with. Is 16 pi. So our area is 16 pi. So we know that we can plug in here. Instead of a, we can plug in our pi r squared equals 16 pi. And here again, just like before, there's a pi on both sides of the equation. So if we were to divide them, they will simply cancel each other out. So r squared is equal to 16. And if we want to know what r is, we have to get rid of the square. So what times what makes 16, or square root both sides, so that we get our radius would be 4. Okay, so that's a big check. We need to know what the radius is. And so then it says, what is the circumference of our circle? So circumference formula, that's what we're being asked. So it didn't say what's the radius, but if we only needed that much, we could stop there. But it's saying, what is the circumference? And so now we can say, okay, well, I want the circumference, and that's equal to 2 pi r, and our radius now is 4. So again, to leave it in exact terms, we're just going to multiply our 2 times 4. And that's where our answer comes from. So circumference is just going to be 8 pi units. Okay, so hopefully that'll help you guys out a little bit more with some of those problems.